Hi and welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here and stopping by for the first time, I just want to welcome you, and I hope that over the next few weeks, for those of you that have subscribed and for those of you that are stopping by for the first time and perhaps will subscribe, that the next few weeks will be able to give you strategies and ways to be able to explore. I took some time out to really think about what it was that I wanted to be able to explore with you, share with you, hear from you. And I wanted to put together years of and ongoing, because it is ongoing, years of experience that I have had and I have also shared. And I've called the next set of the series, if you like, I've called them Worth. And Worth is an acronym for Women That Heal. And the whole process of healing is very close to my heart because it took me years of going through the steps, the feelings, the emotions, which is another word for feelings, the time, the whole building blocks of healing. And it took me years to go through that process. And it's still ongoing, because I'd like to say, well, it's all fine now. But we know, if we're being honest, that healing comes over time, takes time, and every day is a healing experience. So I wanted to be as transparent as I'm able to, and at the same time to explore the whole process through the eyes of, as I said, of my experience, and the eyes of the Lord Jesus Christ, and how he comes in to the whole process. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be looking at the areas that are affected, or the areas that surface or present or hide when we're going through healing. Areas such as low self-esteem, perhaps guilt, perhaps shame, feeling maybe isolated, fear. Those are the areas some of the areas that I want to cover, and we'll explore that together. I think really it's going to be quite an organic process, because I don't want to script anything, and I never do. I just have the outline of what I want to say, but I want to be able to say, okay, this area that I explored, hopefully with you, because I'll get some feedback from you, and I know I will lead me to the next area perhaps that we will look at. So what can you expect from the next couple of months? I want to give you, firstly, to share with you my experience. And my experience is unique, yet the areas of the experience, the areas of the parts of my life that were being healed is not unique, because we all will have those areas that we're dealing with, but they're shared common experiences, may I say, but unique because you are the one that's experiencing it. So I wanted to also be able to share that with you, and then to be able to give you ways, strategies that you can integrate into your process. And I don't know what your process looks like. It may be that you have friends, family, people obviously that you can trust and that you speak to. You may have a therapist or a counsellor, or someone that you're talking to in a professional capacity. And I'm obviously not here to take away from that, of course, but just to be able to offer something that will help you along that process, so that the end of that step, or that transition, if you like, sees you as a whole woman, a woman who is more secure in her identity, and a woman that can show up in every situation, at work, at home, at the social event, or whatever it is, on the streets, at the supermarket, with our children, at the school gates, at the presentation that we've got to give as part of our role in our employment, our businesses, in every role that you, the woman, will show up, and in every role that I show up, it's about being secure, because we're healing. Before I begin to look at an area that receives the healing, I want you to hold on to words. But I want you to hold on to and specifically identify words that make you and have made you feel strong, positive, empowered, encouraged, made you feel well in those places where you need to feel well. Because for those of you that have watched some of the earlier videos, I always say that words are powerful, and I'm not the only one that says them. Everyone who understands the power of words say that. It's those words that when you filter out all of the ugly things, words that have been said to you, the abusive words, the negative words, the words filled with jealousy, even hate, and these are strong emotions. But out of all of those, the sea of those ugly words, try and, for now, the process of healing will allow you to bury them, in fact to completely annihilate them and move them out and away from your life. But depending on where you are in your healing process, I want you to remember, recall, and the brain is amazing because it never forgets anything, it just compartmentalizes it. So take some time over the next week to remember, recall those words that have been spoken to you that were positive. And someone may say, well, I've never had positive words spoken to me, they've always been negative. But somewhere along the line, someone said something to you that resonated with you, that you identified with, and gave you strength for the next section of your life. Find those words, recall those words, and write them down, because it's those words that are the healing words. They're going to be the healing words, in addition to many that you are going to need over the time, the process that it will take. And why those words? Because the first words are the words of premise. It's the first words that God said in Genesis, on which the whole relationship with God, it was built. It's like the foundation of a house. If you take off the foundation, then, or let me say, once the foundation is right, everything can be built quite nicely. So those words, or that one word that was spoken to you, is a foundation stone. And you need to go and find that word, if you haven't already, and embrace that word, love that word, speak that word, say that word. Someone could have said to you, you are such a strong woman, and it may have been years ago they said that. Find those words, take that phrase, and say to yourself, I am a strong woman. It may not have been as powerful as that phrase, as you think that phrase is. No matter how small, insignificant those words may feel to others, if you mention them, they're not, because they're your words and they were given to you, because you're the woman that needs to take those words and you'll build from those words. So let's start by unpicking the word heal. The word heal means to cure. When I think about cure, we relate it with a medicine. If we're ill, we take medicines, we take, whether they're oral, whether they're injectable, whatever, but we take medicines to heal, to cure us. It also means therapist. And I want you to think of a therapist not as someone outside of your life and coming into your life, but you becoming the therapist with the help that you will receive, but you are the internal therapist of your own life, allowing yourself to receive the healing that people bring and God brings into your life, to be able to cure and heal. It also means to restore, and I really love that word, restore, because it's like restart, isn't it? You press the counter, the timer, and it goes back to zero, and it's a clean break, it's a restart, it's a restore. And I love that word restore, actually. Again, as I've just said, I really love it because it gives me a sense of things coming back into my life that I lost, the parts of me that felt like they were all over the place in different eras of my life, in different places of my life, people that I felt took things in my life, and I'm just using examples, and some of them are the case. But it's as if everything is coming back, and I'm the CEO, the queen, the princess of my life, and I'm the one in authority, and I'm taking it back. And that's what the whole process of healing is about. It's about taking things back, going and get them and taking them back. And they're not soiled, they're not used, they're not old, they're brand new, because this is the woman that is going through that curing process, if you like, the therapeutic process and the process of restoration. And that's powerful, that's empowering, and that's what God wants for us as women, to be empowered and to be able to, with the tools that he gives us, through the people that he sends into our lives, through the experiences that he brings, though some of them are tough, and I'll talk about all of that over the next couple of months. But he wants us to be able to experience all of that and have those tools to be able to take our lives back, to take me back. As I mentioned earlier on at the beginning of this video, we're all born with a frame that is ready to take in the good things in life, is ready to take in the happy memories, frames that are forming us as women, forming our characters, so that we can then present to the world. We can present to ourselves before we even present to the world. But then something happened, and it took away our expectations in life, our innocence. It took away our dreams, our visions. It took away our concepts of who we were and our abilities, our knowledge of our abilities of how we could function, and made us feel less than. Words were spoken. Physicalities happened to us. And sometimes these were ongoing. Words and actions that made us almost disappear into ourselves. And so that frame that started off fresh and new and ready to embrace a beautiful world suddenly felt like it was being muddied. Dirt was being thrown. The windows were receiving the rain, if you like, and the dust was just left on the windows, and all of a sudden the frame is not clear anymore. And the question that we have had until we get to the process of where we want to be healed is, can that frame look fresh again after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and more? Can it ever be fresh again? Will I be ever able to function again? So where does those events, what part of us do they affect? And as some of you may know, we are body, soul and spirit, a human spirit. The soul is the area of ourselves, because we are tripartite, that contains, if you like, the mind, so the thinking, your thoughts, that leads to words, the things that affect your thoughts, the mind, your will, so the decision making area of you, and your emotions. And the emotions are packed with so many different clothes, if you like. You know, there's anger, hate, excitement, fear, joy. I mean, and I'm just covering some of the basic emotions, but so many emotions. And those emotions are being triggered, or can be triggered easily. Maybe sometimes not as easily, but it, like I said earlier, it might be something we hear, something we see. We may see something, perhaps maybe it's where you once lived and you experienced so many events that were harmful and hurtful and went straight into your soul because you saw and you felt, and now they've gone straight into the soul, and the emotions are now being triggered. It could be smells, things that you smell, because, you know, smells trigger emotions. It could be, you know, certain food that we loved, that we had as a child, and we smell the food and we think, oh my goodness, that takes us right back. It can be even touch and things that we hear. I may have said that. So many different areas that come in and go straight to the soul and begin to trigger that soul And I call that a wounded soul, until we allow the treasure of healing, the treasure of that process through the right channels to open us up to begin to heal. And that takes trust. It takes trust. It takes trust. Trust in the person that you're working with, trust in the friends that you speak to, or that one friend that listens, trust in your therapist or your counsellor, in a family member. It takes trust. But that process is a process that will move if we allow. Healing also affects our bodies, because when the soul is hurt and experiencing wounds that need to be healed, our bodies will feel that. And we know so because we may be just having a sense of just feeling tired all the time, or suddenly feeling maybe just really down, or as high as a kite and suddenly as low as whatever, low that you can go. It can be our body starts to experience illnesses because of the wounds in the soul that play out to the body. And you've heard it before, it's not new, but I'm saying something because I've heard it, but I've also experienced it. So it's so important that once you now have that sense of, I now want to heal, I'm ready to heal, I'm ready to go again. I may have paused in my life, I may have comedied my life, but that woman, that person, that man, whoever it is, that's trusted and has the tools to be able to do that, that person, I'm ready to go again. It could be that you've moved to a new area and there isn't anyone else or anyone in your life, but that new area, that new environment is enough to house you, if you like, excuse the pun, but to house you and to give you a sense of, I'm ready to begin again. It could be that walk that you're taking. It could be, perhaps you live by the sea. Perhaps there's coffee shops where you live, or whatever it is. I'm not always that amazing at bringing examples, but you know what I mean. But it's now you're ready to kickstart that process and to begin again, and you trust the process. And that's what I want to say again. I'm using this word process all the time, but you've got to trust the process. Trust that God will send the right people into your life, and you'll feel it, you'll know it, you know it's that person. There's something that makes you feel at ease with them, and you know that they will be not the person, but the cog in the wheel. And God is very good at doing that. He's very good at bringing the right people into our lives. And at first it might be, I can't work with that person, they're so different from me, they don't look like me, we're not the same age, we might have different things, we don't have things in common, but yet still they are able to speak the right words into your life, and you're able to hold on to those words and make them work over time. So be encouraged with that. So where do we pause in this first video? And I want to set your path with these words. And the words I want to give you are, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And if you've never been the way of the Master before, the way of Christ before, I would encourage you to give God a try. And I'm telling you, if you decide to use your will, that part of the seat of your emotions, your soul, may I say. If you decide to take that step, he won't disappoint. I can tell you, he won't disappoint. And it's not going to be like what you think it's going to be. Just allow it, allow life to happen, and he will happen in the everyday routines of your life. So again, I want to leave you with these words. You can do all things. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, through Christ who strengthens you. And I also want to leave you with this verse that says, a healthy spirit conquers adversity, but what can you do when a spirit is crushed? Your spirit, you can live again. You can come through this process and be healed completely and totally, so you can show up in the areas of life and strength that God has given you, the areas that you feel that you're the most relaxed in. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't have to look like every other woman. We're all different. We like different things. We wear different clothes. We have different interests. Just show up and be you. Be your authentic self. And you can. It can happen. And it will happen. And we're on the journey together through the process of healing. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. So please subscribe if you've not already. And I'm saying that because when I bring out the next video, you'll know when that is out. And I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks. In fact, shorter than that, because I'd like this to be a continuum. And please share with other women that you know will be encouraged by this. And so have a great week and be encouraged, and support, love. See you soon. Bye for now.